another Insomnia art with the subject being Doctor Strange this time around. Stephen Strange, famed surgeon, had a horrible accident that ruined his hands, could no longer work to save people's lives. Traveled the world to find an answer. The answer he found was the one he was looking for. He became the Sorcerer Supreme, the actual best, I would say, sorcerer in not just our world, but in all worlds. Doctor Strange is a very one of those characters that's just absolutely one of my favorite characters as a kid because you just didn't get a lot of him outside of the comics in regards to media or film. No film. His film's coming out very soon. And he'll be a household name by then. But growing up, he was always this auxiliary character to other heroes like Spider Man or Iron Man or the Fantastic Four. And he was always extremely mysterious, like, just didn't know what his power set was or what his deal was. And it made you want to read more about him as a fan. And as you can see, I'm actually, for this picture, working on a little bit more composition. I wanted to do something different with these Insomnia arts, excuse me, and I wanted to add a bit more to the picture. Something I usually used to do on my pencils. I feel like I'm getting to a place now using the iPad where my control is getting a bit more refined. I'm starting to become the same level I am on pencil than I am on iPad. So with that, it's allowed me to expand my artistic horizons, as it were, with drawing my characters. And I think all of my character studies are going to have a bit of more composition, a little bit more personality, a little bit more depth into the character itself, what they're about, rather than in your standard hero pose. Right now, I'm laying down my gray inks. I've been using this method more often, and I just like how it's kind of tricking my brain to think I'm using a pencil, so it's making my brush strokes a lot more confident, I think, and not so shaky, even though I'm still getting used to it. And then I have a nifty little trick to turn these grays into blacks, and it instantly becomes ink. So it makes it a lot easier for me to get my pencils down now, or my actual inks down in a more fluid manner so it doesn't look so stiff. Now I'm doing his face, which is always funny because Doctor Strange always looked like Tony Stark to me, and that's another person I have a hard time drawing. It's like my favorite characters are the ones I can't draw. It's the worst. It's a mental block that I'm slowly getting over for hopefully future endeavors. Wink, wink. So now I'm doing his eyes, which are windows to the soul. I'm laying down his hair. In this picture of Doctor Strange, I added some of his villains to this picture, and his villains are usually really, really big and important because they're usually world, galaxy, universe destroying villains, such as who I'm doing now, which is Schumer Gorath, who actually is one of the most powerful villains in Marvel. If I if I'm thinking correctly, villains, mind you, not creatures, but villains. Also, a guest star in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I want to say 1. He wasn't in Marvel. Was he in Marvel Superheroes? No, he was not in Marvel Superheroes, I don't think. I just think it's kind of a kooky character to add to a Marvel fighting game way back when. Probably with just some developer at Capcom who said, "Oh, this character looks cool. Let's throw him in the game." So we've had this Doctor Strange villain on the cusp of fighting game lore for a very long time now, which is really, really cool. So I'm laying in my shades now, my highlights for this picture, just kind of getting the Doctor Strange feel. I wanted to do something a bit different with this one. I wanted to kind of make it a bit more organic in a way. I think that's the best word to use. So I'm trying to use different colors and play around with colorscapes and things of all that fun nature. Now I'm working on his powers. Doctor Strange always has something crazy going around with his hands, so I wanted to make some weird, almost translucent color scheme. End up changing it later, but I like the style and I may adopt it again later, but for now, didn't really work with this picture the way I wanted it to. So now, working on coloring Schumer Gorath and his crazy scales. Really, any excuse to draw Shumagorath I'm going to take, because I absolutely love this character. He's so fascinating and just compelling to draw and look at. And in the background, I haven't mentioned I did Mia Dormammu, his actually primary villain, which is an evil monster, not monster, but more of like a spirit. And I'm closing out this picture now, so I hope you dug it. I'll see you later. I need to get some sleep. This is Mike from Navalkosmos signing off. Take care.